Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. I wanted to talk about a Hopi Indian prophecy and also the polar shifts. So I'm going to start off with the Hopi Indian prophecy. And it says, when the blue star Kachina makes its appearance in the heavens, the fifth world will emerge. This will be the day of purification. The Hopi name for the star Sirius is blue star Kachina. The Hopi settled in the area now known as the Four Corners, where the state lines of Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and Colorado meet. They lived in humble simplicity, and the land produced abundant crops. This is the heart of Turtle Island in the U.S., of Mother Earth. Each Hopi clan perpetuates a unique ceremony, and the ceremonies together maintain the balance of natural forces of sunlight, rain, and winds, and reaffirm the Hopi respect for all life and trust in the Great Spirit. The Hopi were told that after a time the white men would come and take their land and try to lead the Hopi into evil ways. But in spite of all the pressures against them, the Hopi were told they must hold to their ancient religion and their land though always without violence. If they succeeded, they were promised that their people and their land would be a center from which the true spirit would be reawakened. According to the Native American Hopi Indian prophecy, the blue Kachina will remove his mask or reveal himself during a dance in the plaza and would make his appearance known to the children at night. This event would tell us that the end of times is near, when the blue star Kachina would physically appear in our heavens, which would mean that we were in the end of times. You'll notice that a lot of people are mentioning like children being born in our era with like advanced metaphysical abilities. Also, not just children, but people in my era where it would be like millennials. And it says, when he will make his appearance known to the children, I think that means like those of a higher consciousness, like those who are spiritually in tune with the earth and basically still live by the sacred teachings. Moving on. In the final days, we will look up to our heavens, and we will witness the return of the two brothers who helped create this world, and they will bring many of their star family with them. The first brother is the guardian of our North Pole, and his brother is the guardian of the South Pole. In the final days, the blue star Kachina will come to be with his nephews, and they will return the Earth to its natural rotation, which is counterclockwise. This fact is evidenced in many petroglyphs that speak of the zodiac and within the Mayan and Egyptian pyramids. The return of the blue star Kachina is also known as the alarm clock that tells us of a new day, the new way of life, and that the new world is coming and many changes will begin. So basically, I think what they mean is that it will reveal itself in our night sky, and it will be a star, basically. And I believe that's what they say in a lot of other websites too, so I can't really say it's what I think solely. They will start as fires that will burn within us, and we will burn up with desires and conflict if we do not remember the original teachings and return to the peaceful way of life. Not far behind the twins will come the red Kachina, who will bring the day of purification. On this day, the earth shook, and creatures and all life as we know it will change forever. There will be messengers that will precede this coming of the purifier. They will leave messages to those on earth who remember the old ways. Every living thing will be offered the opportunity to change. The appearance of the twins begins a period of the 7 years in which our final opportunity to change our ways. Everything we experience is all a matter of choice. Those who return to the ways given to us in the original teachings and live a natural way of life, we will be untouched by the coming of the purifier. We will survive and build the new world. Only in the ancient teachings will the ability to understand the messages be found. It is important to understand that these messages will be found upon every living thing, even within our bodies, even within a drop of our blood. All life forms will receive the messages from the twins, those that fly, the plants, and even the rabbit. The appearance of the twins begins in a period of 7 years. It will be our final opportunity to change our ways. And when I mean, like, when they say that these messages will be found upon every living thing, including ourselves, I think that what it means is the sacred geometry in our body, as well as our cells, and, how we are connected to the earth in that way. So, Yeah, and I also believe that, all religions were originally the same on a broader scale, and, like, people over time have translated their own way in, like, just like this telephone game, like, someone whispers in one person's ear, and then the next person, then the next person, the next person, the next person, and so on, until the message doesn't remotely carry the same meaning as it did before. And some languages don't even have English meaning to some of their words. Some carry multiple meanings, just like the English language. So anything can be, basically not translated the same way. So it's whatever. Many will appear to have lost their souls in these final days. The nature of the changes will be so intense that those who are weak in spiritual awareness will go insane, for we are nothing without spirit. They will disappear, for they are just hollow vessels for anything to use. And I think what they mean by that is, like, people are so brainwashed by this day and age to the point where they're like hollow vessels, and that everything they do and eat and speak and live, it is basically been like hardwired in their brain by our media, our everything that we're exposed to, and like the government has control of all of that. It's crazy how, it's like everybody talks about the same things nowadays. Like, people don't have anything natural to talk about, and I don't live that way. So moving on. Life will be so bad in the cities that many will choose to leave this plane, some in whole groups. And when they say that, I think they mean by, like, ascension, like what I've been talking about before. Don't call me crazy, don't call me tinfoil hat lady, but seriously, like, every religion, not every single one, because they're not all following the same things, but a lot of ancient religions speak of ascension and how we're going to move from this plane to the next, and that, basically we're all going, well, a meditation is in a lot of religions too. Like, I spoke to my dad yesterday for a few hours, and he's like really, really, really religious. Like, he's a Christian, and he's studied Christian religion for years and years and years, and he's got like plaques on the wall that say all the teachings that he has learned and followed through with and all that. And he literally was talking to me yesterday about this, and how, like, he doesn't know for sure, what, but I mean, he said he's gonna continue to learn every day. Is just like, he's pretty proud of me for even thinking outside the box. Even though I didn't say, per se, that I'm going to study the Christian religion solely, but he believes that, these end times are coming as well. And a lot of what I had spoke to him about, I thought I was going to get a real big backlash about, but he was actually really positive about it. And it made me even more kind of worried that what I'm speaking of could possibly happen. So, moving on again. It will be a very hard time for women and children, for they will be shunned, and many of the children in these times will be unnatural, some being from stars that come from past worlds, and some will even be created by man in an unnatural manner and will be soulless. And I think a lot of conspiracy theories kind of point to that, in being unnatural. So, like, a lot of people say that some people are cloned, which I don't know if that's true or not, but, being unnatural, a clone would be something I would think would be completely unnatural, or people like test tube babies, basically. It says, some being from this, okay, well, yeah. Many of the people in this time will be empty in spirit, and they will have no life force behind their eyes. Others will have great deformities, both in the mind and upon their bodies. There will be those who will walk in the body that are not from this reality, for many of the gateways that once protected us will be open. There will be much confusion between sexes, children, and their elders. There will be those who walk as ghosts through the cities. Through canyons, they will have constructed their man-made mountains. Well, let me stop there. Okay, deformities, changing sexes. We're seeing a lot of that now. Like, people are getting breast implants. They're augmenting their face. They're doing all kinds of crazy shit to their bodies and changing what they look like. And that's considered confusion or changing your sex or being confused about your sex, that also is what they are speaking about. And I've read the other books and or sources of the books where it would mention that as well, and it's pretty compelling. But the people that constructed their man-made mountains, what that reminds me of is that all these doomsday preppers nowadays, like, people are building their bomb shelters and stuff like that in mountains, literally. And basically this is saying that they will not be safe. So we'll see. It says, life will get very perverted and there will be little social order in these times. Many will ask for the mountains themselves to fall upon them just to end their misery. Still others will appear as if untouched by what is occurring, and the ones who remember the original teachings will have reconnected their hearts and spirit. When the purifier comes, we will see him first as a small red star which will come very close and sit on our heavens, watching us to see how well we remember the sacred teachings. Many will begin to occur that will not make sense, for reality will be shifting back in and out of the dream state, and we will enter the forever cycle of the fifth world. And when I speak about ascension, and like, people say that when you ascend finally, you will enter everlasting life. And even in the Christian religion, on John 3:16, it says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him have everlasting life, or shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Yeah. So yeah, everlasting life is brought up in the Hopi religion, or prophecies, a lot of Mayan civilizations, and even in the Christian religion. So it says, one morning in a moment we will awaken to the red dawn. The sky will be the color of blood, and there will be many strange beasts upon the earth in those days. Hopi prophecy states that World War III will be started by the people who first received the light: China, Palestine, India, and Africa. When the war comes, the United States will be destroyed by gourds of ashes, which will fall to the ground, boiling the rivers and burning the earth, where no grass will grow for many years, and causing a disease that no medicine can cure. This can only mean nuclear or atomic bombs. No other weapon causes such effects. Bomb shelters will be useless, for there is no shelter for the evil. And it kind of shook me when I read gourds of ashes, because thinking back, I had this really, really, really vivid dream. And I have a lot of end of the world dreams. I mean, not just like, this was before I even looked into the end of time stuff. I mean, yeah, I've always looked into that kind of stuff because I've always been really curious. But like, I have had this dream. It was kind of recent, not like within the past couple years, but it was really, really vivid. And it was like the end of the world was happening. And it wasn't, I remember seeing a giant wall, like it was coming towards me, and it was like huge. And I look closer, and it's nothing but ashes and bone and skulls, and they basically engulfed me. I mean, I could feel them filling my throat, going into my lungs. Like, it was really crazy, really vivid. Never want to have that dream again. It said, this is why it's so important to stay grounded while working on raising your vibration. If you feel alive and have compassion for humanity, then you're on the right track. We've all seen people who are literally lost at sea, but as long as they have some sort of divine spark within them, they still have a chance of making through this shift. Now that right there, that I can speak about. Like, I know a lot of people who would basically, they've probably already shunned me. Like, just all the things that I speak about, and, I probably seem really crazy, but there's a reason why I'm doing this, and I don't want to say that I fully believe in everything I talk about. Like, the whole aliens and things, and Pleiadian aliens, and, the Adamites, the big, giants that have been pulled from the ground. Like, don't think that that's what I fully believe when I post them things, because seriously, nobody knows the truth, really. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm putting out all the stuff that kind of just says, wow, to me, like, wow, that just caught me. Maybe, somebody else can feed off this information, and most of the time I really hope that other people would, you know, at least like collaborate with me, or just be like, hey, you know, look at this, and if I post something and they really like, it really sparks something in them, they like just comment and say what it is that like made them compelled by this message that I just put out there. Regardless, I mean, it doesn't really matter if like my page really does come to fruition, but I know that, well, one thing that really gets me is like, if I were to change the mind of one person, I'll be happy. And I think I've already have, because I have a friend that's already been, you know, messaging me about things too. So, really, I mean, just take everything I say with a grain of salt, just like I do with all the things that I learn and read into. And there's a really good website I actually got this information from, some of this information from, and it's in 5D, and it's in number 5D.com. So, you know, that one has a lot of information in it. Some of the stuff might get a little wackadoo, but yeah. I love you too, Bubby. Well, I'm going to have to go because my little one is up. But peace, light, and love to all, and I will hopefully make a video soon.